Ukraine is an independent nation. We have recognized, the United States has recognized the independent nation status of Ukraine since 1991. Russia declares war on it. Russia sends in troops. Russia invades. Russia starts bombing. And we do nothing except sanctions. Why are we not sending in troops? I'm going to explain why we should. The underlying question is this, it's the obvious one. Are we the world's policemen? Are we the world's policemen? Right now, only 25% of Americans believe we ought to send in troops. Well, folks, let me explain something here. If you're on the playground and the bullies come along and they're going to pick on somebody and maybe they're going to even hurt him, what do you do? What do you do? It's not complicated. Anybody who stands down in that situation is a coward, and everybody knows it. Everybody else on the playground knows it, that the guys nearby, the one being picked on, should have stood up for him, should have intervened. Then you say, well, they're bigger than me, they're going to hurt me too. Well, oh well, that's righteous. That's the right thing to do. You say, well, David, that's okay, that's true in our country, that's the playground, but this is it's a sovereign nation. We have no business trying to be the world's policeman. Well, folks, take that school ground picture one step further. If somebody outside of the fence of that school ground is in the field right next to you and you can see, and a couple guys are attacking somebody in that setting, so you just stand by and watch, or you're going to stop and pray for them, it's not right. It's not the right thing to do. Are we the world's policemen? Here's the thing. We are the most blessed nation on earth, with the largest economy, not the largest military, but the strongest military. And when you're in that position, when you're the biggest kid on the playground or the biggest kid on the block and somebody else is in trouble, is that your territory? How about your neighbor? I've got some neighbors just about a quarter of a mile away from here. If I see somebody breaking into their home, is it right for me to stand down? Certainly call the police. I get all that. But if they're out in their yard and they're accosting somebody, they're assaulting somebody, they're hurting somebody, what should I do? Obviously, I should call 911. I should call the police. I get all that. But I should also go and do everything I can to intervene. This explains why in so many situations we have these attacks, and I've mentioned this in other videos. Recently, a woman was raped on a subway train in broad daylight while no one intervened. Everybody stood and watched. Some probably even videotaped it, but nobody intervened. That's the kind of men we have in this nation right now. That's why only 25% of the population feel like we should intervene. Folks, pure and simple, this is a communist takeover. This is the expansion of communism. This is the expansion of Russia back towards the former Soviet Union. This is wrong. And where will Putin stop? You know, what about the rest of the countries that have joined NATO since the collapse of the Soviet Union? Is he going to start to annex and attack those countries too? Where will it stop? This is an international security issue of the greatest proportion since World War II, and absolutely the U.S. should not just sanction, not just do the other things were diplomatic efforts, but we should put troops right in the country to defend the Ukrainians, stand shoulder to shoulder with them, and to push Putin back into his own country. Folks, one of the things you have to realize is that President Zelensky will be killed. He will be hunted down and killed. He is enemy number one. He is target number one. And he's courageously there on the streets in the capital city. And we offered to fly him out. And he said, no, I don't need an airplane. I don't need a taxi. I don't need an exit. I need more ammunition. I need more guns. Now, he's an honorable man not to ask us to send in soldiers, not to send in troops, but we should have done that already. So folks, what this is showing us is that we have weak leadership in our country, really on so many levels. That's why the polls say that only 25% of people say that we should defend an innocent, independent nation that's being attacked by someone else and being taken over. Our president needs to stand up. Now, I don't expect that he will, but let me ask you this question. What would Patton have said should be done? What would Churchill say should be done in this situation? What would Trump say should be done in this situation? I don't think any of these strong leaders would have stood down and stood by and watched this nation be attacked wrongly and this nation invaded the way it is. I don't think they would do that. Here's what I'm going to challenge everybody on this channel to do. challenge on social media the whole idea that most of our nation feels we shouldn't send in troops. Put your thoughts out there and let the world know that this is a sign of cowardice on our part. It's a sign of weakness on our part, and no good is going to come out of this. Guys, I hope this has been helpful to you. I don't normally get into certainly international politics on this channel, but gentlemen, I hope this has been a little challenging to you and just an underscore of the idea that we need strong men. We need men to rebuild internally, lead in the family, and then lead out in the culture in every respect, in every sphere, including politics, so that in the future, as national and international crises rise to the surface, we will know what to do. So, gentlemen, take a moment, hit that subscribe button if you would, hit the notification button as well. Thanks for hanging out with me. I'm David Long, and this is The Mountain Men.